Good evening and welcome to our American Rescue Plan Forum this evening. We've got several speakers who are going to speak briefly, and then we're going to have hopefully 40 minutes or so of community questions and community comments. I'm Spokane City Council President Brian Beggs. I'm joined by Mayor Nadine Woodward, Council members Candace Mumm and Betsy Wilkerson, and Chief Financial Officer Tanya Wallace, and our American Rescue Plan Community Engagement Coordinator, Joy Peltier, and I believe we have our Chief Communication Officer, Brian Coddington, also on the panel. And so we are going to have a few comments from a few folks, and then we'll get right into community testimony and questions. And so I just wanted to let people know, if you don't know, that we have a little over $80 million from the federal government, and the city of Spokane is working to figure out what the needs are in our community and how can we best spend this money. We have about $40 million that we've already received. We'll receive another $40 million. We'll hear in a bit from Chief Financial Officer Tanya Wallace on the eligibility. But at this point, we're trying all different channels to get information. You'll hear about a great tool, Thought Exchange, a little bit later, and all the hundreds and even thousands of ratings on ideas that we've gotten and ways that you can participate in that. We have an email, anything to do with American Rescue Plan. It's arp@spokanecity.org. And we're going to take testimony tonight. We take emails. And essentially, we are looking for project ideas. So you might think that we should spend money on early childhood education, on the arts, on parks, on transportation, on affordable housing, on homeless shelters. Whatever you think is a top priority, we want to hear from you and ideas on projects. Not so much applications at this point, but just really your ideas on how we can spend the money. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Mayor Nadine Woodward for some opening comments. So Mayor Woodward.
Thank you so much, Council President Beggs, and thank you to everyone who's joining us for tonight's virtual forum on ARP. This is a great opportunity to have a conversation about how our community begins to recover from the impacts of this COVID pandemic. And, I know individuals and families, employees, employers have all experienced significant physical, economic, social, and emotional turmoil in the last year and a half plus. And as Council President Beggs mentioned, in May, the city received the first half of about $80 million in federal American Rescue Plan funds. As a region, about $200 million is coming to the county and other cities and also the schools, creating some really unique opportunities for collaboration over the next 3 years. Public engagement, we think, is a critical first step to strong regional economic recovery. Everyone is anxious to get these funds into the community. I must say that the smarter, more thoughtful we are about how we do it, I think the better that the outcomes will be. So in addition to tonight's virtual forum, we have a comprehensive engagement process that includes, and you'll hear this about a little bit later, that includes drop-in open houses in our 3 legislative districts, a telephone town hall, and as Council President Beggs mentioned, Thought Exchange. So this will give people multiple chances to engage in the discussion about how you'd like to see these dollars maximized in our community, and really allows us to get the feedback broadly that we'd like to get from many different perspectives. So our Chief Financial Officer, Tanya Wallace, is joining us tonight too. She will get more into detail about just how these funds can be used across several categories, including public health, economic support to households and businesses, services to disproportionately impacted communities, infrastructure, revenue replacement, and other areas that we can spend this on. So it's important to know right off the front, I think, that these are one-time federal funds to help our economic recovery. They are above and beyond what our annual budgeting process is. So allocating them requires a very intentional approach that considers collaboration also with regional government and community partners as a starting point. So I certainly appreciate that urgency to accelerate the process. We are taking a moment to front end this so that we have success on the other side, and we have 3 years to use these funds. They're distributed over 2 years. And so I think that tells you that we have to be very intentional about how we spend these money. So these dollars used properly will provide economic security really for generations in our community. City is also working to finalize a charter for the process so that you will know how to solicit and we can evaluate and allocate these federal funds, which you'll hear about a little bit later too. So thank you, Council President Beggs, for facilitating tonight's event, and thank you everyone who's joining us at this virtual forum tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. And next, I'd like to invite our Chief Financial Officer, Tanya Wallace, to talk a little bit about eligibility and acceptable purposes for these funds, just to help set expectations for people of what we can and can't use them for. So, Tanya, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Madam Mayor. I am going to share my screen. To do a very short presentation. I'm hoping that all of you can see this very well. Okay, I'm going to go through this very quickly because this is not the most exciting part of this evening's forum. This is all about the regulations and how we can use it, so I'm going to go very, very quickly, but we are certainly here if you have additional questions or can find answers to your questions for you. So the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 was signed into law on March 11th. And it went for a variety of purposes. State and local fiscal recovery funds are definitely what we're talking about this evening, but there were many other categories of funding, such as the direct financial assistance and assistance to individuals and businesses, education and child care assistance. You heard the mayor speak about the school district receiving funds. So this is where they also received it. A lot of our universities received funding through this. But our healthcare sectors also received significant funding through our federal agencies, as did our transportation, such as Amtrak and our airport. And then there were a variety of other programs, like our veterans also received programming. But tonight we're talking about state and local fiscal recovery funds. And this is just to highlight that while we also received funding, so did the state. And you can see here the state of Washington received $4.25 billion out of this pocket of money. And they will also be allocating that out through the state and the various communities. And then you can see in the local fiscal recovery fund, as the mayor pointed out, we will receive $80 million, almost $81 million. But the city of Spokane Valley will receive $16 million, and then our county will receive $101 million. In addition to this, the capital projects, the state of Washington will receive $189 million. And then there's also funding that is going to territories and tribes. So a lot of state and local fiscal recovery funds coming into the area. Now, how is this different? And I know this is a complex. I'm going to go through it very quickly. How is this funding different than CARES? Many of you might recall that last year we received in a very rapid fashion nearly $10 million worth of CARES Act funding. This is different. This is a different act, but it also has different requirements, which is why we are being more methodical and more meticulous and intentional about how we spend them. The first intention with CARES was to immediately meet those response needs. And there were a lot of them. Under the American Rescue Plan Act, it is the first one, though, that local governments can recover much of their lost revenue so that they can continue to provide services. They can bring back employees. There were a lot of other jurisdictions that were hurt tremendously and had to lay folks off. Or we can invest in deferred maintenance and projects that we would have done had we had the revenue to do so. But the ARP funding falls in line with many other federal funds. and we're required, for example, just even under the Federal Award Management System, to have an identifier and use that. Because the CARES dollars were wanted so rapidly to get into the system, you can see here many things were optional or excluded, but that is not the case with ARP. So many of you, if you've had the opportunity to engage with federal funding, you understand competitive process that is required for procurement. You understand cost and accounting processes that are required. All of those requirements are here as well. So it does add a little bit more to how we administer these funds. Now, how can we use these funds? CARES was very flexible, but it was very intentional as well for direct support and response to the pandemic. Well, ARP funding is also flexible, but there are very specific categories of spending. The first is respond to the public health emergency, and I'll go into just a few more details on that. The second is respond to negative economic impact or hardest hit populations. There can also be infrastructure investment in 3 major categories: water, sewer, and broadband, and then premium pay for essential workers. And they've got a description of what essential workers are. And this is the only area of ARP that can be retroactive to the start of the pandemic. All of these other categories go forward from March of 2021 and forward. And then lastly, to address the impact of general government and revenue losses. So quickly here, on response to emergency, this is really for vaccines, testing, quarantine, and then interesting the services to address behavioral health needs that are exacerbated by the pandemic. We've all recognized that this is a growing need because of the stresses of the pandemic, and this is in response to that public emergency. And then certainly payroll and covered benefits for all of those frontline workers that are directly involved with the response. And then respond to the negative economic impact. There are a lot of businesses, workers, and families that have been directly impacted. So there is this category of spend as well. So aid and unemployment, certain kinds of job training. It's very flexible, but this is also for food security, prevention of eviction and homelessness, and then supporting our small businesses. And this can be from helping them with personal protection equipment, investing in other needs that they might have so that they can get through the pandemic, and then speeding the recovery of tourism, travel, and hospitality sectors. This was probably one of the hardest hit sectors through the pandemic, and it's probably going to take the longest to recover as well, to make up for a lot of that loss. And then building public capacity so we can implement relief programs. Equity-focused services. This is for those disproportionately impacted populations. And it's really to elevate and address health disparities, and invest in housing and neighborhood services in those areas. Educational disparities. You heard Council President talk about childcare and after-school programs are a good category in this area. And then promote healthy childhood environments. Now, one of the caveats on equity-focused services, and you can see the little star up there, is that these are services that are to be provided in the qualified census tracts. Outside of that, we need to provide the documentation and an assessment of those populations that are outside of those tracts. So what are those tracts? Again, you can see here in the purple is where the federal government has identified those qualifying census tracts in our region. And that's to address health disparities, housing, educational disparities, and early childhood environments. Investment in infrastructure. So here you can see it's water and sewer infrastructure and net broadband. The real intent for this type of infrastructure is to provide those services and access to those services that we felt through the pandemic, particularly on the broadband. And it's very forward-thinking, too, as there are criteria, for example, in the broadband, that upon completion, it must meet the speeds of 100 megabytes per second. So it's very forward-thinking. Certainly in the water and sewer infrastructure, a big emphasis is on climate change and green infrastructure. There are some additional guidelines coming out about that, but that's a good category. And then premium pay. There are a lot of guidelines around this, but in short, it's to provide the premium pay to those frontline essential workers that have faced that heightened risk. And you think of your grocery store workers that were there every day to get those groceries loaded, and truck drivers and the child care workers that face that increased risk. And lastly, of the eligible categories, which is really also very, very flexible, it's for the provision of governmental services. So there is a formula to calculate based on lost revenue, and that sets the ceiling for how much City Council can allocate to this particular category of spend. But it's really for government services. It can be maintenance, pay-as-you-go building for infrastructure. Remember, there are a lot of things that with that revenue we would have invested in, and so this could catch some of those investments up. Modernization of our cybersecurity, provision of fire, police, and public safety services, health services, environmental remediation, school and educational services. There are some things that were restricted. We cannot use this funding, for example, for our debt, or contributions to pensions, or replenishment of any reserves that we might have had to use. And last year, in 2020, we did use reserves in the general fund. We dipped about close to 7 million. And we estimated we were going to use a couple million in 2021 as well. And then lastly, just some general compliance guidance. Again, the Uniform Administrative Regulations, these are federal regulations. That's first and foremost, all of those are required. Record keeping. So we must maintain the records and all financial documents for 5 years after a program. Now for spending purposes, we have up until December 31st of 2024 to commit all of these dollars. So there is time to get them committed into programs. And then we have 2 subsequent years until 2026 to actually spend them, but only if they're committed. But then we must maintain the financial documents for 5 years after the program and must be able to present them to the U.S. Treasury if they're requested. Civil Rights Act compliance. Certainly ensure there's no discrimination on any of these categories. And this is to be a signed assurance when funds are requested. So subrecipients, the city, everybody is to acknowledge that they will not violate the Civil Rights Act in writing. And subrecipients and subawards. So internal controls, there will be monitoring and reporting and evaluation of risk compliance. So it is very, very similar. It's not out of sort compared to any other federal grants that the city has. It just has different uses and purposes. So with that, I will stop sharing and turn it back over to you, Council President.
Thank you so much for that overview. And I wanted to invite Council Members Mumm and Wilkerson if they wanted to say a few words as we get started and get close to community input.
Well, thank you, Council President, and welcome to everyone that is out there listening tonight to get more information on this one-time opportunity to make an impact into our community. We are committed to community engagement. We want to hear from you, and this is just not a surface level hearing. We really intend to dig down to really hear what our community is saying and be impactful, thoughtful, and innovative with the monies that have been received. So we look forward to hearing from you tonight, and again, welcome.
I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight, and on behalf of our other council members, Councilmember Kinnear and Stratton and Cathcart and Burke, we are all listening, and they will hear what happened tonight and your comments, of course. But we all want to hear from you, because this is really your money coming back to the community, and there is no idea too small, no idea too big. And I really believe that our neighborhoods and the people who live in our great city know best what we need. And so I am excited to hear from you tonight. Of course, we can take your questions, but we also want to hear ideas, and you don't have to work for a nonprofit. You just might have an idea that could be built into a project or a need that you're seeing in the community. When we look at the information coming back from the pandemic, we know, especially on the north side, that we've had struggles paying rent, paying utilities. We have a lot of folks who haven't been able to keep up with that. We had a heat wave in the middle of all of this. We just had a lot of extreme conditions that we've all had to survive together, but we need to come out of this together. So I look forward to hearing from you. And if you're shy, that's okay. You can send us an email, and we'll tell you how to get in touch with us after we have the program. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to invite Joy Peltier to speak with us now a little bit about community engagement. She is our American Recovery Plan Act Community Engagement Coordinator, and she's going to share with you information about Thought Exchange, which is a great tool that we have. So Joy, please take it away.
Thank you, Council President Beggs. So as you mentioned, my name is Joy Peltier. I am the American Rescue Plan Community Engagement Specialist. And the purpose of our community engagement is to gather the ideas from the community about how we should spend these funds, and then also for me to help throughout the application and idea process. We have 4 main ways to engage in the community right now. One is through the Thought Exchange, which I'll elaborate on in a bit. We're also having community forums. This is our first one. We plan to have more. We'll do community presentations and meetings with small groups, small businesses, nonprofits, and individuals. So the Thought Exchange is a digital platform which we invited folks to participate in, and we will keep it up throughout the project, so you'll be able to continue to engage in this way. And the question we asked is, what should the priorities for spending the city's $80 million American Rescue Plan Act allocation? And then ask people to submit 3 separate ideas. I'm going to move my picture real fast because I'm having a hard time reading the slides. There we go. Okay. So we were really excited to see we had really great participation, over 1,000 participants who contributed over 2,000 thoughts and shared nearly 36,000 ratings. And the next slide will show you kind of a breakdown of where the people in Spokane are coming from. 76% live in the city of Spokane, 11% work in the city of Spokane, 9% frequent Spokane for recreation and shopping, and then 4% said they own a business in our city. So we also asked in which districts do you live? And the largest response we had was from District 3 with 25%, great response from District 2, and 9% said they were from District 1, and also 27% said they were unsure. So we may need to do some more engagement in District 1 and talk with folks around the city. A small percentage, 18%, said they live outside of the city. So this is an interesting graphic that shows kind of the main areas of interest. Housing affordability and affordable housing, low-income housing, homelessness, those were the top priorities. Closely behind those were protected bike lanes, childcare, food, mental health, climate, rent assistance, and small business. This is a word cloud that kind of is just a different representation of similar information. The larger words are the ideas that came up most frequently. So as I mentioned, we are continuing to solicit feedback from the community through the Thought Exchange. So if you'd like to participate in that platform, you can use this QR code or follow the link below. Oops. So as mentioned before, our ongoing community engagement will be the Thought Exchange, continued forums, both virtual and in person. I've already been presenting to groups, so if you're part of a group or association that you would like me to come and present to your group, you can email me at arp@spokanecity.org. Again, same with meetings. If you are a person or an organization that would like to submit an idea or talk through some ideas and eligibility criteria, I'm happy to sit down with you. I have extensive experience in grant applications myself, so I've been through that many times. I'm happy to talk with folks. I was on the phone today with a few. So my email is arp@spokanecity.org, and you can email me your questions or your comments, your ideas, and I'm happy to chat with you. So with that, I'll turn it over to Council President Beggs. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy, and everybody for your introductory comments. So we're going to be moving to the public participation section of tonight. And so for those of you who haven't participated with us before, I'm going to call your name and ask you to hit *3, and then we'll get a chance for you to ask your question. And I'm going to start with some questions. We asked people when they signed up if they had questions, so we're going to start with some questions. And then we'll get into commentary after that. And usually at City Council, we allow up to 3 minutes on commentary. But if we did that, not everybody who signed up will get a chance to talk. So you can be focused and succinct. That would be great. We'll get more people a chance. If you're not able to testify today, because we're going to end at 7 o'clock, you can still hit us up with the email at arp@spokanecity.org. Also, I wanted to welcome those of you who are watching and participating on Facebook Live. Our ARP team is monitoring that, and if you post a question on Facebook Live, hopefully someone will do their best to answer it on Facebook Live. And they're also looking at your comments, and we'll add that into the mix of what council gets to hear about in terms of things. So we'll start. We have a question from Jerry Rathbun that I'm thinking, Joy, you might be answering. So Jerry, if you're there, if you want to hit *3. And just a caution, if you are watching this as opposed to being on the phone, there is a time delay on City Cable 5, and so you're going to want to be on your listening on your phone on it. Otherwise, we'll miss you. So, Jerry, we're not seeing you at this point. I might ask a little bit later if you're there. Next is a question from Jeff Heinz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. It's a question for the mayor. Jeff, if you're there, if you'd like to hit *3. All right. We're not seeing Jeff. And then the other question out there is from Justin Kalumuna. Justin, if you're there, if you could hit *3. All right, so that's concerning, the first few people. Somehow we're not connecting, but I will circle back with them. That will bring me to some testimony. And the first person I'd like to call on is Rebecca Cook. Rebecca, if you'd like to hit *3. All right, Rebecca is there. Rebecca, go ahead and tell us what's on your mind as far as spending ARP money.
Hi, thank you so much for this time. As I said, my name is Rebecca Cook. I'm a lifelong resident of Spokane, and I just so love this community. I'm the president of Spokane Film Project, a nonprofit educational networking organization. I'm the vice president of IOPSI Local 48, which is the union that covers film crews of the Pacific Northwest. I sit on the board of Washington Filmworks, and I serve as the festival director for Spokane Stage Left Theater. I also serve on the Spokane Workforce Council and Spokane Regional Labor Council, and I have seen firsthand how hard this pandemic has hit Spokane. Today, I want to speak on behalf of our artists, crews, and arts organizations. The entertainment industry was devastated by COVID. Actors, musicians, all of the performers, and the crew who support them suddenly lost their livelihood, and many of them still don't have it back, not in any meaningful way. I worked full-time for 2 weeks in 2020, and this year I've had a total of 3 months of full-time work, and I'm one of the lucky ones. There are so many artists and crew members still out of work with no real light at the end of the tunnel yet. Live events are very limited, as it should be for now, but our entertainment industry needs support. Please take us into consideration as you allocate this funding to keep the vibrant arts culture of Spokane alive and thriving. The creative economy is a vital part of this community. We are a vital part of this community. Thank you very much for your time. That's all.
Thank you, Rebecca. And if you could hit *3 to lower your hand, that would be great. And then the next person I'd like to invite to testify is Patty Shastani, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Patty, if you'd like to hit *3. All right. Go ahead, Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty Shastany. I have been in the field of early learning and child care for over 30 years now. I'm currently the director of the Community Building Children's Center, a small nonprofit child care center in downtown Spokane. Our child care system was broken before COVID, with the cost exceeding what most families can afford, while teachers are barely paid above minimum wage with few, if any, benefits. It was difficult to hire and retain staff before COVID. Now it is harder than ever. The work is physically, mentally, and emotionally challenging. There is a high turnover rate of teachers, which creates a very unstable environment for the children. Quality is dependent on a stable workforce. We have a chance to build back better by providing incentives to teachers to stay in and join the field. We need to fund the true cost of high-quality early learning and child care to fill the gaps to keep the cost affordable to families. We need to provide premium pay for the teachers that have been on the front lines from the very beginning of this pandemic, caring for children so others could be there to care for the rest of our community. Children need strong relationships with their caregivers to feel safe and secure. Then they can learn and thrive. Without that, our children are at risk of not achieving their potential. Every dollar spent on early learning and child care, as long as it's high quality, is an investment that gives a return of $7 to $14 for every dollar that we spend, according to Nobel Prize-winning economist James Heckman, who has spent his life studying this issue. Birth to 3 is a critical time of development for our children. We cannot afford to miss this window of opportunity any longer. I urge us all to give bold investments into the early learning field. We can build back a better community by investing in our youngest children, their families, and their teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you can go ahead and hit *3 and lower your hand. And then I'd like to invite Chris Massini to hit *3 and raise your hand. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor Woodward and Council President Beggs, for hosting this event and for the opportunity to speak. I'm Chris Massini, and I sit on the Spokane Arts Commission. I'm also a writer and graduate of the Creative Writing Program at EWU. And I don't want to rehash how difficult the past year has been for everybody, but I want to highlight that while many industries have been able to return to some version of the new normal, the arts and culture sector has lagged far behind. As the Delta variant has surged and we head into winter months, concerts, art exhibits, plays, and literary readings, which may have been able to return in some capacity outdoors, are once again faced with uncertainty and the possibility of having to shut down once again. And I want to emphasize that losses in the arts and culture sector affect many more people than just those employed there. Artistic and cultural performances, events, and organizations bring people to our community, funneling dollars to restaurants, hotels, retail businesses, and more. And a vibrant cultural scene allows businesses of all kinds to attract employees who want to live in a thriving city. This is true for the artistic community as a whole, and since I'm a writer, I know firsthand the effect on the literary community in particular. Spokane has a reputation as a reading town, and because of that, it's been historically a major stop on book tours for nationally prominent authors. And organizations like Get Lit once hosted week-long literary events, which brought both famous and up-and-coming writers to Spokane. In fact, Get Lit is the only event of its kind remaining in the state of Washington, and it's now been relegated to a limited virtual event for 2 years in a row. And educational organizations like Spark Central, which rely heavily on volunteers to run their incredible literacy and creativity programming for children in my neighborhood of West Central. All of these organizations are still struggling and need additional support to help keep the cultural fabric of our community intact. I want to urge you to please dedicate ARP funding to the arts and culture sector. The very lifeblood of our community depends on it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. If you could hit *3 and lower your hand. I'd like to invite Rebecca Margolis to hit *3, if you're there, Rebecca. All right, Rebecca, go ahead.
Hello. I have been in property management for as long as Mayor Woodward was in broadcast, so I feel fairly experienced enough to talk on the housing issue. There's so much to unpack, though. One statement that I'll make that's different from what I want to say on a personal note is there's a demographic that cannot support a household as the majority know it. I have some suggestions and possible solutions, but that's separate. So I am an owner property manager, and I am thinking out of 13 units, 3 have paid rent. They are under market because one's a student and she was doing great, so I lowered her rent. Another's a musician. I heard Rebecca Cook earlier talk about helping the musicians. I'm doing my part, but I have literal squatters, but I don't feel conscionable about asking them to leave because 2 years they've been there, 0 rent, 0 deposit, 0 compensation for a 1-bedroom. It's 3 people, 3 dogs. But one of the people is a mother off of drugs now, and she's the mother of 6. And the child she has custody of is her only one, and I'm hoping with some stability that she'll be able to be like a tree and put good roots for her family, you know, the children that are not in her custody. But I can't stay afloat having zero proceeds on a 1-bedroom. And I owe the city over $21,000. When before this happened, the highest balance I believe I carried was a tenth of that, like $2,100, because utilities are $1,200 a month, and that's just less. Anyway, I don't know what to do, but I'm faced with going under, and these 13 units are faced with homelessness because I can't. You can ask Tanya Wallace, your own CFO, you can't pay your bills if you have 0 coming in. And regardless of whatever program I've been led to by the tenants that say they've been led to, it results in zero, no matter what I submit and what is owed. So I really enjoyed listening to Stephanie Vigil interview. It was before Mayor Woodward was elected, but it gave a sense of what she had hoped to accomplish. And I'm on board with what I heard her say. I need help. I need help. I can't continue to house anybody, and everybody's going to be out. I've heard talk that there's an investor that wants to take this, and he's going to raise everyone's rent to $2 a square foot, which would put the students' rent, which is now at $500, to $1,050. She's not going to be able to do that. I don't know how to use this money, but I know that I'm going to need some help to continue to house these marginalized people.
Rebecca, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but 3 minutes is up, and I just wanted to let you know that independent of the ARP funds, the city has received tens of millions of dollars in funds for rental assistance and utility assistance that is being administered with some other organizations that we have contracted with to do that, and that is out there in the community. I believe you can go to the city's website and find out more about where that is, but that's there. But thank you for sharing that story. I'm sure you are not alone, nor your tenants. And if you would hit *3 and lower your hand, I'm going to next call to testify Jeremy Whittington. If you would like to hit *3, Jeremy. Not seeing Jeremy. How about Emma Noyes or Noyes? Emma, if you're there, if you want to hit *3. All right. Emma, go ahead.
Hi, this is Emma Noyes. I'm a member of the Colville Tribe. I live in District 3. My background is in public health, and I work in philanthropy and as an artist in Spokane. And I just wanted to be able to reiterate and emphasize the way in which the vibrance and strength of our communities in Spokane are tied to the arts and culture sector. This sector is foundational to the survival of tourism, travel, and hospitality industries, which are priority areas outlined in the ARP guidelines. So I really hope that further attention to investment in the arts and close attention to engagement with artists that are struggling are a part of the continued feedback and input that decisions are based on. I also want to emphasize that we know that historically underserved communities have been hit hardest, and especially in terms of facing continued inequities and harsh economic realities and severe lack of mental health supports and other much needed supports. And so I just really want to emphasize and promote further work alongside gaining input in or input from and placing investment in some of the organizations that were outlined that are within the areas outlined in purple in the map that was shared earlier. Organizations like the American Indian Community Center, the Native Project, the Hispanic Business Professionals Association, Carl Maxey, MLK, World Relief, the Mujeres in Action, so many organizations that are really those that can reach those that are hardest to reach and know exactly the types of supports that are going to be most effective and helpful. I also happen to have the question from Jerry Rathbun, who had difficulty being able to join. So in case Jerry's not able to rejoin, I'm happy to share that question.
Why don't you go ahead and ask that question? And again, probably, Joy, this is probably for you. But go ahead and ask Jerry's question.
Great. So Jerry Rathbun sent me her question, and it is, how will you ensure that funds are prioritized for historically under-resourced and marginalized communities?
Joy, you want to talk about community engagement strategies to address that?
Sure. Yeah. So our priorities are to reach out to those communities that you mentioned earlier, and be very proactive and solicit their feedback and their ideas, and then provide some technical support or technical assistance to apply for the funds. So I really appreciate you bringing this up, and I'm currently building a list of all the agencies that will be and organizations we'll be reaching out to. So if you have additional ideas, please send them my way.
I don't know if any of the council members or the mayor want to speak to that at all, but if you do, raise your hand. Councilmember Mumm.
Yes, we have a set of internal criteria that we're building that has a lot of those elements, because that's really a big issue for many of the council members, is to make sure that the money is going to those who need it most. And our diversity, equity, and inclusion policy director is providing the map that you all saw. So we really fully understand those areas, and we have a lot of data, thankfully, that will help us also determine the areas that are stressed the most. We've already seen some data on those who haven't been able to pay their utilities, and other types of data that we can use to help make those priorities clear. And I have just only heard a commitment from the other council members that it really does need to go to those underserved communities first.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Council President, I'll just add that we know with the identified census tracts, we already knew that while we were in COVID and coming out of COVID, where the needs are in the city. So that is a place we have definitely identified to start, and really we'll be going the extra mile to help break down barriers to organizations and people and businesses to support them. This is new, and for a lot of our folks who have been marginalized, they do not know how to work this process. So really one component we're looking at is navigators to really help those folks work their way through this and avail themselves of the monies that has been made available to us in the community. So it is a high priority on City Council.
Mayor Woodward.
Thank you. I thought it was quite revealing from the first thought exchange from City Council when you looked at the districts that engaged in that opportunity, and only 9% from District 1. So I think, one of the other things we want to do for public engagement, as I mentioned, is go directly into the legislative districts. So Hilliard, that area, District 1, is going to be a place that we definitely want to target to provide that community engagement. So that is definitely something that we want to do. And we'll give people plenty of time to know when those drop-in, open house style events that we'll hold at the high schools in all 3 legislative districts. So we'll give you plenty of time to take part in those.
And I would just add that I think in the past there was this idea of, we'll just open up an application process, and then the fair way to do is whoever applies will get it. But we've realized this idea of equity, that there are certain barriers to individuals and groups that get in the way. And so we're being proactive. And as Councilmember Wilkerson mentioned, we have this idea of standing up navigators to different communities that would traditionally be left out of the process, so that trusted ambassadors essentially can go to that community and explain how it works. And if there's language issues, there's translation. And I'm imagining that when we allocate money to organizations to distribute it to individuals and nonprofits and businesses, we're going to have strong equity components in their contracts to make sure that that happens. So a great question, Jerry, and thank you, Emma, for getting it in front of us. And next, I would like to invite Nicolette Ochiltree to hit *3 so you can share your thoughts with us. All right, welcome, Nicolette. Go ahead.
Good evening. I'm going to focus my testimony today a little bit on Purpose 4 from the ARP resolution City Council passed last night, which is relief for residents and businesses that have been left behind by other relief programs. Now, part of what I'm about to say is really to provide an analysis and some perspective on how previous relief packages have left folks left behind and what we can do to prevent this in the future. So, for example, I hadn't seen any relief packages that specifically targeted helping folks that were unemployed before the pandemic and were unable to secure employment during the pandemic. I was especially worried about those who were immunocompromised and who were unemployed, because folks that were unemployed before the pandemic didn't get unemployment. And although some companies were still hiring during the lockdown, most jobs were jobs that immunocompromised folks could not do without severely putting their lives at risk, especially before vaccines were rolled out. For the few jobs that could be done remotely, many of them required the individual to have access to high-speed internet, a computer, or required years of experience in sales and insurance. Plus, with so many folks unemployed during the lockdown, the job market became way more competitive in general. And as a result, many of these folks are riddled with debt and now on the brink of homelessness after over a year and a half without a job and astronomical rent increases. So not only do we need to focus on those who have been left behind by previous relief packages and are now suffering the economic impact, but we also need to ensure that future distribution of these funds are done wisely so as to prevent folks from falling through the cracks yet again, like they did on previous relief packages. So I'm just going to give another example of how a much-needed rental assistance was it left a crack for people to fall through. So we don't want to have these same kind of pitfalls here in the future. So in the city of Spokane, rental assistance was prioritized for those who had rental arrears. So even if you absolutely were in need and would otherwise qualify for rental assistance, meeting the income threshold, if you weren't behind on your rental payments, you were denied rental assistance. Now, I know of some folks who took out loans to pay their rent. And unfortunately, the way previous relief packages were distributed, they didn't qualify and were denied rental assistance. This unnecessarily punished folks who were just trying to do the right thing. And it seemed weird to me that requiring a tenant to have unpaid rent, it just seemed like a weird qualification for rental assistance that now in hindsight we can see probably didn't work out and caused folks in need to fall through the cracks. So for folks that were able to pay their rent by taking out loans or by selling and pawning their personal property, it didn't mean that they didn't need help covering future rent. And by requiring unpaid rent to qualify for assistance, there was a real sense in which those folks were punished by their responsible behavior. There has to be more nuance and wisdom in these assistance efforts, since these are truly complicated problems during complicated times. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And if you could hit *3 to lower your hand, I'd next like to invite Karen Mobley to hit *3 and raise your hand. All right, welcome, Karen. Go ahead.
Thank you all for including me in the testimony this evening. I'm here as a freelancer, a gig worker, a board member from Inspire Washington that helps all of the arts organizations. I have to declare that I am a contractor for Arts Law, which is the Arts Commission for the state of Washington and for Spokane Arts and Whitworth University and the Spokane Art School. And I also sell my artwork and I sell my books. I am not unusual in the Spokane arts community at this point. I have about 7 jobs and about 3 small business efforts that I do. And I also babysit my neighbor's kids and do a little elder care on the side. I'm an optimist. I am very excited about the future of the arts in Spokane, but I also worry. We have young children who are yet to receive their vaccines, which means that the people who serve the arts organizations in youth programming, for the most part, are not doing classes or music lessons or community activities, much of which support the artists who work in our arts community. Our arts organizations, especially those in the performing arts, have been held back both by the previous COVID pre-vaccine and now are being held back because of the Delta variant and the uncertainty around the pandemic. There are many of us who are freelancers who are pretty much like every low-income person. I wouldn't put myself in this category because I happen to be old and saved a lot of money. But many of my peers are just as others who are low income. Housing, healthcare, food, childcare insecurity are all significant arts issues. We have unprecedented rent increases on our apartments, our houses, our studios, all the places where we do our small business work. It is a crisis to have this much rent increase and have our incomes be flat or declining. As Rebecca said earlier, a lot of us have only worked 3 or maybe 2 months of the last 18 months. Housing is in short supply, so most of us can't move. And there's a lot of people who are at risk of becoming homeless who are really important and active people in the arts community. My friend had his car up for sale on Facebook Marketplace day before yesterday because he doesn't have enough income. And he's a young guy, about my age, like 60 years old, wondering if he's going to be able to bus on STA to his gigs. That's a true story, and I almost cried when I read his thing. That it's like, but the arts are core to our community character. We are a huge part of the life of the city, the performers, the visual artists, the creators of events. We are the why in tourism. We are the why in tourism.
And Karen,
people don't come.
Karen,
yeah.
I'm going to.
Am I out of time?
You are out of time, but thank you so much for sharing with us this evening. And if you could hit *3 to lower your hand, I'd next like to invite John Edmondson to hit *3 to raise your hand. All right, not seeing John. Oh, wait. We are seeing you, John. John, go ahead.
Hey, guys, are you hearing me okay?
Yes.
Great. Sorry, I'm also hosting an event at our church right now. I'm John Edmondson. I'm with Shadle Church, as well as Growing Neighbors and Northwest Harvest. Thanks so much for hosting this tonight and for including me. I'd love to speak to using funds for building a more sustainable, equitable, and resilient local food system, primarily by supporting efforts to help citizens build upon existing assets and to meet each other's basic needs by growing and sharing healthy food and relationships. This is including expanding partnerships with the Spokane Food Security Coalition, which I'm part of, Spokane Food Policy Council, Sustainability Action Subcommittee, and there's so many different partners we're working with that are engaged in this work, nonprofits, businesses, churches, schools, libraries, neighborhood councils. So some of the ways this could look is through hyper-localized community gardens, giving access to locally grown, fresh, nutritious foods to neighbors within walking distance. Also supplying these foods through farmers markets, sustainable food delivery, little free pantries, community composting and other food waste reduction, tool sharing and resource sharing, hosting communal meals, such as we're doing tonight at our church building, and other neighborly gatherings, as well as providing education on growing, cooking, and preserving organic local food in ways that will minimize the environmental impact. We also think about the nutritional value of food that's grown locally. Even after something's been harvested for 3 days, the nutritional value is down up to 30%. And all these kind of neighborly connections through food will help reduce other social issues, just as people know and trust each other more. So that's the gist of what I wanted to share today. Thank you so much for including me.
Thank you, John. If you could hit *3 and lower your hand, and then I'd like to invite Jake Schaefer to hit *3 and raise your hand. not seeing Jake on the board. I'd like to invite Miguel Gonzalez to hit *3 to raise your hand. Not seeing Miguel. How about Juan Mas? You'd like to hit *3, Juan. All right. How about Don Jensen? If you'd like to hit *3, Don. All right. Then Katie Upton, if you're there, if you'd like to hit *3. All right. Katie, welcome. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. My name is Katie Upton. I'm a musician in the Spokane Symphony and an officer of our city's musicians union. Spokane is home to hundreds of professional working musicians who provide countless cultural and economic benefits to our city. We bring communities together, we create art that touches our citizens, and we bring customers into businesses like cafes, restaurants, bars, and breweries. Our work disappeared at the beginning of the pandemic and has been slow to return. Venue owners were given support through the Shuttered Venue Operator Grants, but the only support that musicians, the workers, received was unemployment, which is built on a system that often does not recognize non-traditional workers. The money from the Shuttered Venue Operator Grants was intended to trickle down to workers and in some cases has. But the majority of musicians in our city, the freelance musicians, have no employer-employee tie with the venue and have no guarantee that this money will translate into a return to work. If more work doesn't return soon, we will lose an entire generation of musicians in this city. This will disproportionately and unfairly impact those musicians who were closer to financial instability before the pandemic began than those who were on secure ground. Without funding, this pandemic will have a devastating impact on the musical diversity of Spokane, as those who can't afford to hold on are pushed out of the industry. Currently, as some work returns, freelance musicians are put in a terrible position of having to choose to accept a gig in order to continue moving their careers forward and to pay their bills, but under conditions without safety protocols in place. We must use funds from the American Rescue Plan to fund safe live music performances that pay musicians fair wages for the cultural and economic value we bring. We need to invest in our working musicians. These are people who invest in Spokane, not just because they live, work, and pay taxes in the city, but because they are the ones who bring the city to life and make it a great place to live. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate having the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Katie. And if you could hit *3 to lower your hand, I'd like to next invite Tracy Swanson to hit *3 to raise your hand. All right, not seeing any indication from Tracy. Next, I'd like to invite Laria Shu to hit *3. All right, welcome, Laria. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Laria Shu, and I'm the Executive Director of the Smith Barbieri Progressive Fund. We work to help tear down barriers of people and groups often locked out of the system so they can achieve the power necessary to not only survive, but to thrive in this region. The responsibility before you to make lasting investments will impact the health and well-being of our entire community. It is critical that you not only make decisions thoughtfully, but the funds must be allocated with a strategy for assurance that the impact will be broad in areas where most needed. Listening to community and respecting the value of what we are experiencing is the first step. We request that 2 areas be a priority with American Rescue Plan funding. First, funding for housing. We have been in a housing crisis that has not only become worse, projections indicate that the challenges are only going to increase. We fully support the proposal of ARP funds made by Spokane Low Income Housing Consortium to provide funding for low-income housing projects that can be completed in the next 12 to 18 months. Time is critical. The number of houseless are growing rapidly, and with current low vacancy rates, we are facing an epic crisis. Bold action is required, and with funding available, there are no excuses not to immediately implement solutions by funding housing projects as suggested by the experts. Second, we request that the new nonprofit PEP, Pre-Employment Preparation Program receive funding. PEP is an educational hands-on training program consisting of required courses of study to prepare previously incarcerated individuals for an apprenticeship in the trades. Curriculum delivery involves practical construction math, job safety, equipment and tool use, life skills, and financial literacy. In addition, PEP staff have established a network of social service personnel who are ready to work with PEP students and assist them in reducing and eliminating barriers that might keep them from moving forward in employment. Successful completion of the program includes certifications in first aid, OSHA 10, traffic control, and a forklift qualification credential. This program's proactive approach to provide an opportunity for individuals to build a sustainable life and career is innovative and deserves funding. New solutions to rehabilitation will get results, ultimately benefiting the entire community. Last but not least, we want to stress that ARP funds should be focused on people first. A healthy community is a thriving community. Housing and employment opportunities are crucial to basic needs, without which the health of our community is in great jeopardy. Please do the right thing. The time is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Lariat. And if you could hit *3 to lower your hand. And I'd like to invite Mariah McKay to hit *3 to raise your hand. Welcome, Mariah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and council members and everyone participating in the forum this evening. My name is Mariah Rose McKay, and I'm the founder and executive director currently for SIMBA, the Spokane Independent Metro Business Alliance. I'm also the co-founder of Haystack Heights Co-Housing. I just moved into my new home here about 3 days ago, and am the co-owner and community manager for Our Natural Homes, which is a small co-living rental company here in Spokane. So also seeing firsthand the tight housing market and the housing crisis at a systemic level. But over the last several years, I've been mostly focused on helping to lead the Live Local Inland Northwest Coalition, which is a community campaign that has supported local businesses and consumers in finding ways to prioritize local spending at a time when large online monopolies like Amazon Corporation have just made record profits at the expense of independently owned businesses and the people and families that they employ. If you're not familiar with Live Local INW, I invite you to check out our website at livelocalinw.com. We now have over 637 participating businesses that are concentrated in the restaurant, retail, entertainment, and services spaces, all which were variously impacted disproportionately by the pandemic. And at our launch, we were very proud with our coalition partners that 30% of the businesses listed in our directory, which can be searched by neighborhood, it can be searched by business type and ownership type, were actually multi-ethnic owned businesses. We were also able to provide small business grants to help serve the emergent needs of specific COVID-impacted populations, and we helped keep businesses open during the incredibly difficult 2020 holiday season. We put our customers directly in touch with our local businesses without being the middle person, which was great in an emergency, but it actually left us without the ability to measure the full impact of our economic support and relief programs for local small businesses. There were hundreds of people in the community asking us if they could buy a Live Local gift card that could then be spent at any local business. Unfortunately, we didn't have the infrastructure at the time to provide that system-wide service on short notice last year, but we have since built a partnership with an organization that will empower us to provide just such a local rewards payment system if we can get ARP funds to help train all the businesses to adopt it as a class of locally owned businesses. Our coalition, which includes Business Equity Coalition members such as HBPA, the Carl Maxey Center, INBA, and AHANA, neighborhood business districts like the Garland Business District, North Monroe, and South Perry, as well as trade organizations such as Spokane Arts, Link Foods, and Terrain, are all eager to take this campaign to the next step with the ARP money 2.0. We'd like to build on the success of the CARES Act investment that the city made in our local economy and create a new Live Local Dollars system, which would save actually millions of dollars in digital payment fees for small businesses over time. It would allow us to provide those local gift cards. And so we're looking forward to educating you about that option.
Okay. Thanks. Your time is up. Thanks for sharing all those things with us. If you would hit *3 to lower your hand, and then my understanding is that Tracy Swanson is on the line if you want to hit *3, Tracy. Go ahead, Tracy.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Tracy Swanson, and I'm the Executive Director of Our Place Community Outreach. We are now the largest, most visited food bank in all of Spokane County. We have seen our numbers grow from 750 people per month prior to the start of the pandemic to over 3,300 people per month. 3,300 people are relying on us with their food insecurities, their transportation issues, lack of access to personal hygiene items, and unstable housing. Our Place Community Outreach is an indispensable organization in this ongoing pandemic. We are on the front lines and in the center of hazardous conditions and potential outbreaks in our food bank setting. So we are in desperate need of funding to hire more employees, funding for capital improvements to our loading dock and facilities, and to help with the overwhelming demand for assistance. We hope to secure some of the ARP funding to hire more staff and to help with our infrastructure. Spokane food insecurity increased in 2020 from 13% to 17.3%, and for children from 19.5% to 27.9%. At Our Place, we have implemented low barriers to receiving food. We provide access to all children, adults, and seniors, distributing a bounty of healthy foods. No matter where you live in Spokane, we will feed you. So we ask for you to please support us in our mission to provide equitable food access, to our reduced barriers to food assistance, and to our increased access to healthy and locally grown foods. Thank you for allowing me to testify.
Thank you, Tracy. And I just nudge you to go ahead and send an email to arp@spokanecity.org with that request, just so that it gets captured. I'd next like to ask Jesse Norris to hit *3. If you're there, Jesse. All right, go ahead, Jesse.
Hello, thank you. My name is Jesse Norris. I am on the board of Reach West Central, which is a local community development corporation nonprofit. It's clear that there were really no sectors of the economy that have not been affected by the pandemic in the last 18 months. But it's also clear that low-income residents of Spokane have been impacted disproportionately to a greater degree than many of us due to job loss, housing insecurity, and food insecurity. We already know that housing and rental prices in Spokane, a recent study in August showed that we were 6th on the list of the 100 most overvalued markets, and this is not a sustainable situation. We've already had a challenging situation with our homeless population prior to the pandemic, and that is not going to get any better. It's also the case that neighborhoods that were underserved before the pandemic are now in worse shape. I am going to urge the decision makers to spend ARP funds on permanently affordable housing. I especially recommend to you the Spokane Low Income Housing Consortium and their request. I also ask that you spend dollars on various kinds of economic development, investment in low-income neighborhoods like West Central, to support local businesses, to put public dollars into infrastructure that can then lead to private development, to provide well-paying jobs for low-income residents of Spokane. It is time for us to be using the money that is coming our way to lift everyone to pay child care workers better, to pay musicians better, to pay everyone, to pay retail workers better. It has been. We should be ashamed as a nation at how we treat our most essential workers. And so I encourage you to spend these funds in many of the areas that people have talked about tonight. But please, permanently affordable housing and economic development. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jesse. If you'd hit *3 and lower your hand. And next, I'd invite Craig Howard to hit *3. And we have about 15 minutes left. We have more speakers than time if everyone uses their time. So please, my request is just be laser, get to your thoughts about how you'd like to spend the money, and so that we can get more people to testify. But Craig Howard, if you're there, *3. Go ahead, Craig.
Council President, Madam Mayor, I'll be quick. Craig Howard with Family Promises Spokane, just advocating for housing as a basic human right, a baseline of security for our residents. We do run 3 low-barrier shelters in the city of Spokane. We've been pivoting big time over the last year and a half, turned our administrative office in the Perry District into a shelter. We turned away 156 individuals back in August. 81 of those were kids. We've been at capacity for a night. The city gets our reports each night and knows that we have been at capacity. We just need help increasing that capacity. Our families got hit really hard by COVID. Parents working retail, food services, hospitality. We know that over 40% of those making less than $40,000 lost their jobs last March. A lot of those jobs did not come back. Some of them have, but at reduced income levels. I'll give you a quick story. Tyler and Julie have been on our waiting list for months. Family of four kids, I should say. Julie panhandles near the Walmart in the Valley to get motel money so her kids can bathe. This is what we're facing now. Last March, we lost our church rotational system, so all of our shelter space at our churches has been gone for a year and a half. And we need the city's help to get that back, not in the church system because that's going to be a while coming back, but we just need neighborhood sites. We're expanding our open door shelter, our mission in Napa, to double that space. We are basically just crying out for ARP funds in a manner that will allow our families to get through the winter and not feel compromised. I hope none of you ever have to experience what it feels like to turn away a family with small kids at the doors of a shelter when it's 9 degrees outside, which happened back in February. It's a really unfortunate situation. I think everybody has made a really compelling case tonight. It's going to be a tough decision for the city. But I will tell you that Family Promises has been around for 24 years. We have a pretty good handle on what we're doing here, but we just need resources. We need help to expand capacity and provide support for these families that are really struggling right now and need housing just to stabilize and move forward. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Next, if I'm not sure I'm going to get this pronunciation, but I believe it's 2 Shirley, if you'd like to hit *3. All right, welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. My name is 2 Shirley, and I live in District 1. And I just wanted to share a couple thoughts regarding this money. I feel that we shouldn't be taking this money. I think it should be given back because this is not free money. This is taxpayer money that's being taken from future generations. Our children and our grandchildren will have to pay this back. But if you take it, please don't create new programs with it. Make what you do with it a one-time use where we don't need to fund it with future tax dollars when it runs out. So with that, I just have a couple quick ideas. One, a property tax relief program. This could be a great way. I know we've heard a lot about the issues that people have had with home housing and all that, but this would be a great way to help the citizens of Spokane who have financially suffered during the last 18 months to get some, relief on their property taxes. 2, another idea is just set up a small business startup fund. This can be used to help encourage small businesses to get started. And then when the fund runs out, it runs out. Another idea a friend of mine had is to provide bathroom facilities for the homeless. Without facilities, our businesses, our residential properties and alleys are used as a latrine. And so these are just some ideas that I have, and we appreciate the work you all do. We just ask that you lead with integrity, honesty, truthfulness, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. If you could hit *3 to lower your hand, and then I'd like to invite Leroy Eady to hit *3. All right, Leroy, welcome. Go ahead.
Good evening, Council President and Mayor. My name is Leroy Eady, and I'm the Executive Director of Spokane Housing Ventures. We are a nonprofit affordable housing organization with 33 properties and almost 1,200 units of affordable housing in Spokane, Central Washington, and Western Washington. I encourage you to dedicate ARP funds to affordable housing projects in Spokane that are ready to be built. ARP funds can close the funding gaps in these projects and allow the building of affordable housing sooner rather than later. It sometimes takes years to put housing projects together, purchase property, and seek funding. You have the ability to bring affordable housing units online now. SHV has a project called Vets on North Lacey that is ready to be funded and constructed. This 10-unit, 5-townhouse duplex affordable housing project is in the city of Spokane on North Lacey and will be built for 10 homeless veteran households. I'm a veteran myself and fortunate not to be homeless. I certainly believe it is appropriate to use ARPA funds to house homeless veterans. This project is partially funded, land is acquired, and the property is entitled. It's time to make this happen. Other housing organizations have projects that need funding as well. Please dedicate a portion of the ARPA funds for affordable housing in Spokane. Thanks.
Thank you, Leroy. And if you could hit *3 and lower your hand, I'd like to invite Hadley Morrow to hit *3. Welcome, Hadley. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. This is Hadley Morrow. I live in District 2. I have the privilege of serving as Director of Equity Engagement with Better Health Together, and also in a volunteer role as an executive committee member on the NAACP board here in Spokane. While those experiences definitely inform my opinion here today, I'm speaking here totally with my own opinion and not on behalf of either of those organizations. I want to be a voice that says thank you to Council for making the choice to take it slow and really think thoughtfully about how to best roll out the administration of these dollars, and also think about where there's opportunity for community engagement. With a big funding opportunity like this, even if it's just a one-time thing, how we choose to roll out and fund the funding and prioritize engagement can leave a lasting legacy for future opportunities when there's a crisis, and how community and city council and city administration can work in partnership together. With that, through my roles, I've had the opportunity to run a number of participatory budgeting and participatory design sessions with community members with federal and grant-based dollars, and it's been an incredibly rewarding opportunity. And the things that I'm hearing from here tonight really relate to a lot of participatory design practices, and I'm really excited to see the city moving in that direction. I just wanted to share a couple of quick learnings from my process and recommendations as we continue to move in this process. I think I hear a lot about reaching out to community. Let's remember that at this point in time, there's a lot of folks in the community who have unexpectedly become COVID resource experts on their own time because they are folks who are trusted and believed in the community. And I think this is a great opportunity for city not to just reach out, but also let them lead and recognize if we really want to value the voices of the most marginalized and most impacted people who are not able to fill out a thought exchange or come to city council or come to any of these forums. It would be a great opportunity to partner with those valued organizations and really pay them for their time and convening folks and convening community to sit with trusted messengers to have a real voice. And that's a really great example of an opportunity to build trust, I think, with communities that have typically felt left out of decision-making when it comes to big funding like this. I also heard talk about a criteria. Love a criteria. I think it's so important to be really transparent up front. It would be great to see if the draft of criteria that you guys are working on could be presented to, like in these public forums, so the community could give feedback on that and know exactly how it's going to be used in decision-making. Additionally, I'd also like to urge, if it's possible, to see opportunity to put community members on the work group that's looking at this, the allocation of funds right now. I think that's a great commitment to transparency, as well as, again, an opportunity to really let community who's already been having to figure out creative solutions to help people recover and remain resilient during this pandemic, give them an opportunity to shift power into that space and let them lead. So thank you all, and I appreciate your work.
Thank you, Hadley. And next I'd like to invite Alan Lesher. If you want to hit *3 and raise your hand. All right, welcome, Alan. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, and thank you for hosting this forum. My name is Alan Lesher. I've lived in Spokane for 58 years. I'm also the president and CEO of the YMCA of the Inland Northwest. I'd like to offer recommendations to use funds to support children's early learning opportunities. The YMCA is based in Spokane. We operate 2 children's early learning centers as well as 20 school-age care sites. We operate as a separate entity, but we're a member of the National Council of YMCAs. Nationally, YMCAs are the largest provider of children's early learning opportunities in the United States. Our community is currently experiencing a child care crisis. We don't have enough slots available to serve all of the children who need child care at the most critical age of infant to age 5. Early learning centers often can't sustain their operations, or in some cases must use resources from other operations or pull cash from reserves to continue to survive. As a result, we've seen some early learning providers simply close their businesses, and this is only worsening the problem. Revenue from early learning participant fees and state subsidies often does not provide adequate resources to support children's early learning centers and their operations, and it won't provide for a living wage for staff. Further, the resources for staff training often are not sufficient to ensure staff receive training that is recommended. I respectfully ask that you consider directing the ARP funding to children's early learning centers to help organizations such as ours to expand the early learning child care available to working parents in the Spokane community, with an emphasis placed on directing those funds to areas that could be easily classified as child care deserts. I also ask that you direct ARP funding to support wages and training for the staff who dedicate their careers to serving children in early learning centers. Early learning providers are currently experiencing very limited numbers of individuals entering the workforce due to low wages and high levels of training required. Providing funds for wages and training will ensure we have a strong pool of highly qualified individuals serving our children. Providing funds to expand the number of high-quality children's early learning slots available and supporting wages and training for all early learning staff will create jobs, support our working parents, and ensure more children are ready for kindergarten. These investments will pay dividends for years, many years. I would encourage you and your staff to contact us at the YMCA. We can provide further assistance or counsel as you consider the best ways to use the ARP funds to benefit our community now and for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alan. If you could hit *3 and lower your hand, and Judith Gilmore, if you could hit *3 to raise your hand. Oh, and also we're going to go a little over time, a little after 7, to try to get a few more people in, but if you can keep your comments laser. All right, Judith, welcome.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, and I will be brief because it appears I'm about the last person here, but thank you for calling on me, and I want to say that the project I am supporting is PEP, the Pre-Employment Preparation Program. It answers many of the things that people have brought up here tonight. One of the things that one of the persons testifying said, we've got to help the people falling through the cracks. Well, we're looking for the people falling through the cracks. We want to provide 160 hours of educational and hands-on training for individuals who have never had the opportunity to try and interview with a union apprenticeship shop and get a union job. certainly living wage jobs are something that Spokane, nobody can argue that Spokane needs desperately right now. The trades need people. People in Spokane need living wage jobs. We're ready. We are prepared, ready and prepared to train individuals, particularly those re-entering the community post-incarceration, whether it was 6 hours ago, 6 days ago, or 6 months ago. We want to help you get back on track. We want to help all of those individuals in the underserved neighborhoods in Spokane that have not had the opportunity to walk into a living wage job, rather work under the table, be paid under the table because they're afraid of past due child support or the fact that they don't have a driver's license. We're going to help them overcome those barriers. So please consider PEP when you do this funding. We hope to have a pilot project this fall so that we can show the integrity of our concept of this program. Next year, we hope to have at least 6 classes of PEP. Each class will graduate 6 persons, all of whom will be prepared to interview. They will get an interview with union trade apprenticeships. We're going to get people into jobs. We're going to get them building all of these things that we're all talking about need to be built. So please consider PEP when you get into your funding decisions on this money. This is something that's going to go a long ways. We thank Smith Barbieri for being our first funder. We thank the union trades themselves for what they have been donating, both in kind and in cash. And we are considering other funders at this time. But right now, we need the city to come in and help us get this pilot project off the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judith. And if you'd hit star 3 and lower your hand, and Chris Batten, if you would hit star 3 and raise your hand. All right, welcome, Chris. Go ahead.
Good evening, council members and Mayor Woodward. Tonight, I would ask you to use the ARP funds to reauthorize and fully fund 2 existing and proven programs. The first is the programs or the projects of citywide significance. This is a program that has proven to provide economic development and create jobs. It can be used for brownfield remediation, and most importantly, it can be used to assist in improving the public right-of-way in the development of much-needed housing projects. The second program is the Urban Utility Hookup Program. This program assists in bringing public utilities to the already built urban environment downtown to assist in bringing fire and water to a building in order to be able to build and infill and create new housing opportunities downtown. Those would be the 2 projects or programs rather that I would ask ARP funds to be used for. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And if you'd hit star 3 and lower your hand, and I'd like to invite Maria Gutierrez to hit star 3 and raise your hand. All right, welcome, Maria. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor Woodward, President Beggs, everyone in the call. Thank you very much for listening to my point of view tonight. I am here to talk about small business. I am the owner of ASAP Translation Services. It is an interpretation and translation referral agency. We work with multi-ethnic professionals, around 200 of them in 30 languages or so. And one of the things I want to share with you is that despite the pandemic, I won't be where I am, or my business won't be where it is, if it were not for the help of mentors who have taken me along the way to the right path, and also for organizations such as AHANA or ABPA. During the pandemic, I have been privileged to be able to collaborate with AHANA, Multi-Ethnic Business Association, helping multi-ethnic businesses in the greater Spokane area. I have seen their struggles, and their struggles are some struggles that I had in the past, even without the pandemic. So my suggestions are in order to be able to help these businesses succeed. I think if multi-ethnic businesses are doing well, multi-ethnic individuals are doing well, immigrants are doing well, we are all going to do better. My ideas in terms of priorities would be to incentivize buying local and buying from BIPOC businesses. And I am not only talking about buying from residents, I'm also talking about buying from big corporations, companies, or even the government. The second thing I believe we need to prioritize is promoting leadership development and professional success through the multi-ethnic small businesses in our area. And we can do that by allocating funds to organizations led by BIPOC. Mariah just mentioned a coalition that has been formed with nonprofit organizations willing to provide outreach and offer other appropriate services and assistance. Areas we should cover are funding working capital resources for startups, business retention and expansion, providing mentoring, training, access to education, information and resources, networking opportunities so we can build relationships with the movers and shakers in the region, and also digital marketing. I have heard some words that sound like music to my ears. Joy mentioned technical assistance and support. I also heard navigators.
I think we lost Maria, but her time was just about up anyway. But thank you, Maria. And then Terry Anderson, if you'd like to hit *3. We just have a little bit more time left. Go ahead. Welcome, Terry, and go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name's Terry Anderson, and I'm the Spokane director of the Tenants Union of Washington State. Tenants in Spokane need to be rescued, and the ARP funds should be used for rental assistance that will help keep renters in their homes and to pay for the rent increases and for tenant education and outreach so tenants are aware of their rights and protections and what they need to do to avoid being evicted. Nearly half of Spokane rents their home. That's about 100,000 renters who have experienced a health and economic crisis for almost 2 years. To be clear, there is not adequate rental assistance available to pay all of the unpaid rent in Spokane, and now renters are experiencing record-breaking rent increases that are so high they're the same as an eviction. Tenants are now voluntarily vacating their homes because they receive these terrifying rent increases, and because they move, they give up their rights and protections that were just put into place to defend them and protect them from being evicted. Tenants are reporting rent increases of 30, 40, and 50%, and even higher. We hear rent increases of $700 and $800 a month. I don't even know how they can do it. Many renters are notified that these rent increases will be doubled if they do not sign or renew a fixed-term lease because of a loophole in the newly created state just cause law that allows no-cause evictions for fixed-term leases. We're grateful that Governor Inslee extended the bridge, but October 31st is too soon. Cities on the west side of the state who've also experiencing a slow delivery of rental assistance have extended the moratorium protections through December or January, which is what we need to do in Spokane. Money alone will not solve this. Thousands of letters notifying tenants of unpaid rent have already been sent, and they are scared and confused. The new rights and protections created by the state will help them, but they don't know what they are or how to exercise them. So we need outreach. Renters in Spokane are disproportionately black and brown. Nearly 80% of all black households in Spokane are renters. 60% of indigenous and people of color are renters, while just a little over 30% of white households rent. Renters are the workers who do the essential work, who risk their lives, and who died. We cannot ignore the housing needs of renters, and please use these funds to keep them housed. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And if you could hit *3 and lower your hand, and then Chris Ostrander, if you could hit *3 and raise your hand. Not seeing Chris. Amber Abrahamson, if you're there, if you could hit *3. Go ahead, Amber.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome and go ahead.
Hi, I'm Amber Abrahamson, and I'm a tenant education counselor and organizer for the Spokane Tenants Union of Washington State. COVID-19 caused an economic hardship for a significant amount of our workforce, which over half in Spokane are renters. Many of those renters were unable to pay rent. The programs and organizations that were formed to disperse those funds are still in early stages of operation at this time. Neither the eviction resolution program or the Right to Counsel program are operational statewide. Recent spending reports from Department of Treasury through August for Washington State had spent 34% of its rental assistance. We need to invest in our workforce, our tenants, our renters, and give ourselves a fair chance to help 100% of renters who need it. I recommend that you invest in tenant education to prevent tenants from eviction. Most minority groups continue to disproportionately experience homelessness. Structural and historical racism explain this occurrence, from redlining that segregated minority groups to areas with less investment and fewer resources to the Black and brown tenants. We have a direct responsibility to ensure we're not adding to the problem, but investing in our community by educating and empowering our tenants through tenant education. So let's invest in the renters and the workforce, and let's invest in more rental assistance. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to close up the public testimony and questions at this point. We've gone a bit over time, but it was worth it to hear more people. I want to thank everybody who shared their testimony and their questions with us. It was compelling and certainly moving and educational for all of us. I want to also thank Mayor Woodward and Council Members Mumm and Wilkerson and the mayor's staff and city council staff and many of those staff members you didn't actually see, including the Cable 5 staff that made this happen. And so thank you all for attending. We will soon have our ARP website live that will include the criteria that we're using and the processes. So please stay tuned for that. And again, if you have questions, you can email us at arp@spokanecity.org. Thanks, everybody. Please take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of somebody else. Good night. Take care.